Up to Chris, because Chris may decide that Peter's going to shoot first.
Oh, well, if he shoots first, then it'll be definitely on. But I don't think he's dumb enough to shoot first. The volley of nuclear missiles and
Yeah,
really
100. We got, what, 200 nuclear missiles now?
Well, yeah, but we can only shoot so many at a time. But I mean, those things add up as you, and then plus our long range particle barbettes also have radiation effects. I mean, it's just we really do nasty shit to ships when we start hitting it when we go nasty.
Okay, Chris, how many AP magazines did I manufacture while I was spending 5 weeks or 8 weeks traveling?
That's a good question. Make a gun combat plus intellect or education check.
Nine.
Okay, so in that amount of time, you were able to make 3.
So that now gives me 6. Because I haven't used any yet. But it's always good to have some.
Right? Yes. Yeah, those are highly useful.
Okay, how long we plan on staying at this place? Because I need a wafer jack.
You can get it at the palace.
Yeah, you should be able to get a wafer jack available at the palace. Honestly, though, I mean, if you were going to go that route...
And I need about 15 wafers.
Hold on here.
You know, if we went to Thieves...
And I need a new
palindrome. If we went to palindrome, you could get that shit done pretty fucking easy and quick too. Plus, we do need to go to palindrome.
Why?
Because he wants to go to a bar.
We've started the negotiations to get them in, and we've got defense stuff there for them. Or is it Thieve? No, not Thieve. It's Palindrome. Tech World. That's where we need to go. We need to go to Tech World.
So, and why?
To get their signature on contracts, because we did what they wanted us to do, and they owe us that.
Yeah, I mean, signatures on the contracts and stuff, that can wait really until much later, like when they're going, when it comes down to whether or not they're going to officially sign the paper to join the Kingdom of Drinax. But I mean,
and the acquisition of the abandoned GDCO facilities.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the abandoned GDCO facilities are not going to be any better than most of the shit you're going to find. There's shit on Tech World that is light years better than whatever GDCO brought with them.
I hear you.
I mean, Tech World is like a playground for the psychotic.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the tech playground for the unhindered mad scientist.
Yeah, those are good.
So guys. I was going to say, I mean,
and we don't have one of those anymore.
Oh, I mean, I'm not trying to.
We killed him.
Well, he was an archaeologist, and he wasn't really a mad scientist, but
I mean, I'm not even saying we have to go there immediately, but I mean, I am pointing out that, if we're ever in that vicinity, we do have business we need to wrap up and clean up to get Tech World. That's where all our fleet and shit is.
And now that I have vac suit 1, I need to improve my combat suit and get a battle something.
So I was going to say, if you wanted to go with a wafer jack, and this would be something that would be available through the Scholar's Tower on Drinax, you might consider instead going with a neural jack. And yeah,
Yep.
it's more expensive, but at 50,000, it's TL13 or higher. It removes that limitation of the wafers only being intellect or education programs, because it is a mix between a wafer jack and a neural link.
That's correct. It is funky. It also allows you to fuck with the radio waves and all that shit.
No, that would be a neural comm.
That's
Which
correct.
I would.
Damn it.
I would
Sorry.
also. I mean, you know, you can't go wrong with a neural comm either.
I got a com dot sub vocal, but that's something you hold, isn't it?
Well, ComDot's just basically a wireless earbud. That's all ComDots are. It's just something for you to their Bluetooth connection to your transceiver or your mobile comm or whatever. But
get your augmentations while you can.
Essentially, a neural comm removes the need for you to carry around a neural or a mobile comm or have a ComDot, because it's directly that communications device is directly implanted into your brain. I bet the upgrade path is a bitch, but the new NeuralComm S23. Ah, you got to go in for surgery again. The new phone came out.
Let's see. I don't think I can afford anything.
Well, we're probably going to get some money too. But, I mean, didn't you just get 1 million credits?
Did I? What for?
I would think.
No, we got 1 million that we split around.
We did?
I thought so, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go back.
I must have been gone. I must not been in that day. So I got 300,000, or was that it?
I would guess at least that much. I mean, you guys did share some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been really kind of making money and stuff. I mean, but I've still got 800,000 credits just sitting on my character, and I've been spending money.
Yeah, right. So I mean, if you were to go neural jack and neural comm, I mean, even if you went, because I mean, Drinax. So here's the thing. Drinax is capable of tech level 15. I don't know that they would have the parts for tech level 15, but I would think that you could at least get 12. So I mean, you're only looking at 55,000. If you wanted to order the required parts, you'd have to wait for the neural comm. But even then, you're only looking at 75,000 credits total. If you went TL15 advanced. So multiple forms of data, computer 2. What does that do? Oh, never mind.
Holy shit, I can't afford any of that stuff.
Are you that broke? You shouldn't. I wouldn't think that you should be.
I haven't gotten any. I have not aware of getting any money since I got here, and I got 106K.
Well, shit. I know that. I thought that they had divided up shares and whatnot, but maybe not.
Well,
I know Keith.
I missed tonight, so it could have been that one.
Maybe it was that night, but I know Keith didn't just last week he pulled in something like 60 grand in just credits from the gas station on number one.
Yeah. I don't think we had a split since then, but I mean when we
I might sell my 5 ship shares.
We sold the luxury ship and got like 27 billion, and Captain took a million and divided it amongst the crew.
Yeah, and the rest went into the ship fund, because you guys are really going to need that. So
yeah.
How many ways was it divided, and I'll put it in my account.
Well, just go ahead and give yourself 350,000 credits.
Really, more like 400.
Yeah, it's probably more like 400, because you are part of a pirate gang, and I know that they've made some money. So just go ahead and give yourself like 400,000 credits.
Okay, now I can Now I can afford some stuff.
Yeah, you can. So while he's shopping, I would like for Ting to go ahead and make a electronics computers plus your choice, intellect or education. You do, of course, get your well, what tech level is your computer?
I'm going to use the ship TL-15 computer.
That's wise. Okay. So that actually evens it out.
Yeah, I've got to have access to that. So.
Yes, but that would even it out because that would put it at the exact same tech level as the Deathbot.
Right, and then I want to add for taking my time.
Okay.
And and then another one for my decryption software.
Okay. So that puts you at +7, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that is what you needed. You get the third Deathbot up and functional and reprogrammed.
Roby 3.
Yep.
So tell me, can I buy a Battle Dress Improved here?
So the answer to that is yes and no. You can, but you're going. So there's this guy. You know a guy.
I know a guy, and he runs a store.
Yeah,
here in this.
Essentially, he runs more than a store. So there's this guy on the Pirates of Drinax. There's this guy on the Floating Palace, and he is a free trader that showed up several years before you guys even came on the scene, and he is a free trader in the Trojan Reach, but he has this unique ability, and nobody knows how he really does it. But he has this unique ability of being able to get his hands on just about anything. And what he generally does, he runs Roshando's Bazaar, which is number 2 right here, this purple thing. And it is, when I say bazaar, it is a whole tent city fair kind of situation where people are buying and selling various goods and items. Now, a lot of the stuff that's being traded, excuse me, a lot of the stuff that's being traded is stuff that is, well, I mean, a lot of it is works of art, ancient Sandalian relics and artifacts. And so what the agreement that Roshando has with King Oleb is that he set up this bazaar, and everybody who's living on the palace brings items that, you know, they have collected over the years, or that they consider, most of them consider something to be a family heirloom. In a lot of cases, it is not. They're not even related to the person that owned it, but somehow, somewhere down the line, they got it, and so now it is a family heirloom. But anyways, they can bring this shit to the bazaar, and he will take that stuff, because there is a huge market for all of this stuff in the Trojan Reach. And so he will take that stuff, he will leave, and he will trade it, and he will come back with mostly with stuff that the Floating Palace needs. Food is a big one, but also technical repair parts, spares, things of that nature. You know, there's been a couple of cases where he came back with, you know, a small trade ship that he gave to Drinax. Drinax actually has, in air quotes, a navy now. In addition to the Rasputin class destroyer escort that you guys showed up with, and the Dame Coraline Petrovsky in tow, you guys. He also has another couple of ships, but they're like, you know, he has like I think at this point he has a Type A3 fast trader. That, of course, is armed to the gills because it's a pirate ship. I mean, it's a smuggler. Of course it's armed to the gills. And, yeah, I mean, it's basically the Millennium Falcon of Traveler. And, you know, and he's got, you know, like a patrol corvette, and I forget where you guys got that. But anyways, he's got like 3 ships in the Navy. You guys still have possession, of course, of the Rorik's command vessel, which is the Osiris. You also have ownership of the Anubis, which is the Harrier. And originally, the general of the Star Guard of Drinax, Commander Rax, or Admiral Rax? I think it's Admiral Rax. Anyways, Rax was pissed off that initially that Oleb gave you guys the Harrier, because Rax wanted that to be his flagship, which is actually really funny because I don't know how you can call it a flagship when you only have one ship to begin with. I mean, of course it's the flagship. You only own the one. But that would be like me and my wife saying, well, you know, our Hyundai is our flagship. We only own one automobile, but whatever. But he, and of course he was a little envious of the fact that not only do you, and he's still a little envious of the fact that you guys have the Osiris, but a lot of that butthurt was assuaged when Coraline Petrovsky showed up with the Rasputin, because now he's got the biggest, baddest. Pretty much the Rasputin is, as far as small petty kingdoms go, it's the biggest, baddest boat around. And so just having that in their possession has put Drinax in a superior position. Nobody else really would want to fuck with them, because going toe-to-toe, assuming that he can afford the ammunition to fill that thing to the gunnels.
That's an interesting comment.
Right. Assuming that he can afford all the missiles that'll go into that thing, nobody's going to want to mess with Drinax when they field that ship. And
we have the 2 Harrier hulls.
You have the 2 Harrier hulls. Now, I was just getting to that. So, you went to Salif because you know they have a Class A starport, and your hope, of course, was that you would get some numbers on what it would cost. I mean, these are just essentially they're hollow, empty hulls. The hull is there, and that's pretty much it. They've been stripped. They've even been stripped of armor, man. They still have their fusion reactors, but they're not in a functioning state. They've been dismantled enough to essentially make them non-viable. So you basically got the erector set kit to build a Harrier. Some assembly required. Now, and hold on, I'm going to give you.
What's the jump range on one of these things?
On the Harrier, it's got jump 2.
Yeah, but if we're
but it has
naked wholeness, so it'll be what we give it.
Yeah, it's jump 2. It's a 200-ton commerce raider with superior stealth, bonded super dense armor, generally thrust 6 with reduced tonnage ×3, jump 2, which includes early jump size reduction and stealth jump. A fusion TL-15 fusion reactor that puts out only 260 power units, a little underpowered, but it's got holographic controls. I mean, it does exactly what it was supposedly designed to do. It's very good at that, at the role of commerce raiding, i.e. pirating. And of course, they were designed to work in tandem, 2 of these, with the Rorik's command ship. And the Rorik's command ship, they were designed so that they could dock. 2 of them could dock at a time. The Rorik's has an unrep system so that it can quickly refuel and replenish these things in a system. And, with the 3 ships in total, I mean, you guys could really wreak havoc in like a 3-star system radius easily. So, but here's the downside. So, the downside. is. Um,
That each costs $150 million credits to.
well,
Well, I mean, we gotta.
yeah, to rebuild one of these is going to cost you about 250 million credits.
Okay.
Woo!
All right.
When
Yeah.
do we,
That's
we
that's
need to
for
get busy
one.
and rate some stuff.
Well, I mean, now hold on. What kind of trade-in can we get on the other empty hull?
I mean,
Uh,
not much. It's basically 200 tons of streamlined and reinforced steel. I mean, it
but it's in a pretty shape. It ought
Yeah.
to be worth.
if you were a Mexican American and you decided to take the all the copper out of it as well, you could probably take it to a scrapyard and get enough for your next fix.
We have an extra particle barbette that we can install.
Yes, you do have another particle beam gun. You could throw that in. So I would say that would probably drop the price down to like 225 million.
You know, the best way to do this is to go steal people's ships and sell them to the president if we haven't burned that contact.
The
I wonder
president?
if he's got stuff to sell.
So
well, I mean, he's
Does he?
he's a
does he-
salvage guy.
and I mean
he's a
I don't
salvage guy. Does he have a drive unit? Does he have a maneuver engines? Does he have regular
He
old
might,
lasers? Does he have
so
nav?
well
equipment,
well
comm
the
equipment?
the repair or the rebuilding of these commerce raiders, and I mean Salif was the closest choice. It's probably not the best choice. The best choice would of course be Thieve. They have a guaranteed TL-15 shipyard, and they have like no laws. So Thieve, of course, would be the best place. But I mean, even either way, you're looking at 225 million on one ship, 250 on the other, and the other problem is waiting for some of these parts because, like I said, it's got superior stealth, it's got stealth jump. Some of this shit doesn't grow on trees.
Right.
And so your best bet for getting that kind of stuff would be Thieves Naval Yard, where a lot of stuff seems to fall off trucks, and they just happen to end up with it, and somehow it could end up in your ship. And it could
And
be
we're
a
pirate lords there.
Yes, you are pirate lord, so it is a possibility that there would be some room for haggling. But regardless, you're talking about basically restoring classics. So really, it's unfortunate that Cameron's sick because this would really be more in her bailiwick because she, as far as I know, she has all the paperwork on the on how much money is actually in the ship fund, and so.
Well, I mean, we obviously don't have enough to knock off. I mean, even get one Harrier going. But if we could,
well, I
get
don't
up to
know.
see-
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, you guys have made quite a bit. I don't know if you've made that much, but you've done pretty well. So I don't know. You might be able to piece one together. I mean,
if we took over 4 or 5 ships and hawked them,
Yeah.
the money would be there, and they would be clean registered ships. We could get the ISIS like she wanted, so we would have the Anubis, the ISIS, and the Osiris all on the Sindalian Death Squad.
yeah,
We
and
could,
if you could cut a deal with King Oleb, you could give him the third Harrier, and he can do with it what he wants, and Rax would get what he ultimately wanted, is to have a Harrier, and so you could make a lot of friends that way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against rebuilding the other one too, but I mean the obvious to be at our best, you know, we need to have the crews and both the Anubis, the Osiris, and I think she was going to want to call it the ISIS or Set, but that's yet to be determined.
Is she into Egypt stuff?
Well, that's just the theme we're rolling with right now. I mean, that's we got our ship changed name, and we went with Anubis, and then we got this ship, and so we went with the Osiris, and so I mean we are the Egyptian god class Sandalian ship runners.
So
is this a good place for me to get the neural jack and the?
Yeah, I would say that you would be able to get the neural jack and the
neural com.
Yeah, you could get the neural jack here. The neural com you could get here, but you would have to order parts. And if you also wanted to order a battle dress, you could. But you're going to have to basically you put in your order and then
you take what you get.
He goes out and comes back. So it could take, if he's going out and he's getting you a neurocom parts and a battle dress, it might be a month, before you see it, or however long it takes you. I would say you'd probably have it by the time you come back from what we're going to start tonight.
Do you think we could use a couple of those Planet Buster nuke torpedoes to fund having one of the Harriers redone? I mean, these are rare and big weapons.
That is true. I would say. So you got 24 of these atomic torpedoes.
Yeah.
I would say that if you were to sell 6 of them, you could fund a commerce raider and get it up and running, and I mean, it's going to take some time, of course, but
sure,
that you could trade that. So essentially, if let's say that you went from Salif and you went straight to Thieves before coming back to the palace, the floating palace, you could drop one of the hulls off. Trade. I would say that Admiral Dorokin and the Pirate Lords of Thieves would take 6 of those atomics in exchange for rebuilding a commerce raider.
Man, I gotta think that Cameron would go for that.
I probably agree.
Cameron, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, the teacher's gone and we're going to act up. But I still want to progress us to getting to where we want to be.
Well,
if we're at that stage.
Let's look at the realities, though. So the realities are: you got 24 torpedoes. You've got no gun that will shoot a torpedo. So
that's correct.
They can just sit in your cargo hold and do nothing, or you can use them as something that's usable.
Out the cargo hold.
Right. Yeah. Arm it and just drop it overhead and hope you get away in time.
If we give up 12, can we get both Harriers refitted?
If you gave out 14, both Harriers would be able to be completely outfitted.
Man, I think I want to ask her and see if she responds with her sick ass.
Okay.
On the 14.
While you're doing that, give me just a second.
We could still blow up 10 planets. Hi-ho, hi-ho.
So hopefully I don't lose connection. We have a lightning storm rolling in. I'm watching the clouds roll in. And I knew something was happening because my ears started plugging up. And all of a sudden the humidity just went through the roof in this house. I'm so I was just adjusting the air conditioner. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm not putting up with this. But yeah, so I hope that.
So, what temperature is it there?
So it is right now. It says that it's 68, but it is 92% humidity. So it's uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
We were 104 2 days ago.
Ugh.
I'll see if
Give
see
Ambrose a
she
dry heat.
responds or give Keith the ability. I want to say yes. We'll go ahead and do the first one, but we might retcon that we do them both with her.
I really don't think that Cameron's going to have a problem with that idea.
I
I mean,
don't either.
and I mean,
Two of them. One of them gives us where we can donate it back to King Oleb and get him off our fucking back about the one that he loaned us to begin with.
That still leaves you with 9 missiles or with 9 torpedoes.
Yep, and nothing to shoot them with, and
nothing to shoot them with, and really nobody so far to shoot them at. I mean, let's face it, you've got 168 nuclear missiles that do 1 DD damage. I mean, and that's 1 DD damage at starship scale. So, I mean, and same with the torpedoes. 2 DD damage at starship scale. So that means it's going to be, instead of rolling 2 dice times, it would be 2 dice times 10 if you hit a starship. You drop that on a planet, and it's 2 dice times 100. So, you know, that's a city.
And it's
at the very
math
least,
where it doesn't fuck up her.
I think we can safely say we're doing at least one, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I will probably do them both.
So just make a note that we've agreed that you're going to do one, and possibly 2. The total for both of them would be 14.
Yeah.
How long am I going to be ill or damaged if I get a neural jack here?
So you don't have to worry about that. The doctors here at the Scholars College or the Scholars Tower are going to be able to take care of you. You're down for, well, oops, that is not at all what I wanted. How did I even get here? There we go. So that.
So anyway, the note is done on that. But at least one of them, and then I mean, it's kind of like when the Power Rangers all form together to make the big thing. You know, we've got that. Even though it's better for us just to go in at jump 2 and then.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
If you had the Osiris and then 2 Harriers, you guys could really do some serious pirating. I mean, this would.
That's treasure ship taken out type shit.
Yeah, this is escorts. You could hit multiple locations essentially within the same week, and then meet back up and get the fuck out of Dodge, and everybody's gonna be scratching their head as to how that happened. So injury and recovery on page 82 is what I'm actually looking for. I mean, you guys could have just, I don't know, put that in the fucking contents, but you know, injury and.
But, I mean, yeah, you'll probably be all healed up by the time that we get. I mean, just in jump shit from all the places we're going.
That's true. So.
I mean, if we went and dropped off the unnamed Harriers on Thieves and got them going, and then came to Drinax, you know, he could have got the operation. He could have got it on either Thieve or Drinax. Hell, he could if he got it installed on Thieve, he would have it almost, you know, healed up before too long with good medication.
So you'll have to wait to get the neural comm installed, but with the neural jack installed, you'll be down 4 weeks recovery time. The surgery went perfectly.
Okay, well, I can do that, but I'm not going to order the neural comm here. I'll wait. I'll do it at Thieves or wherever we're going.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. At Thief, ordering it at Thief or Tech World would be like, hold on, I got to go into the 7-Eleven. I need a pack of cigarettes and a neural comm. I'll be right out. Yeah, I mean, literally.
But I can get some Viper Jacks here, and I'm down 50,000 credits.
Yes.
And
Now, keep in mind, you can buy up to rank 3 of any skill on your list.
Rank 3.
Yep.
If we're doing all this preliminary fucking bookworm bullshit and everything, how much would it cost for me to start funding a school in the Floating Palace?
What kind of school would you want to put in the Floating Palace?
I want to teach engineering, piloting.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
a military, like a military academy.
So
kind of type.
they already have that.
He wants Pirates want 201.
They already have the capability for that. So that is actually all handled not only by the Scholars Tower, but by number 12 here is the Starguard Barracks. They actually have simulators and all of that stuff. They've got simulators that will simulate the use of recon power armor, which was the standard power armor for the Royal Guard of Drinax. They've got simulators for piloting Sindalian ships. I mean, you fly one, you pretty much fly them all. But they already have all of that stuff. Okay. And I kind of imagine their simulator pods. So I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but I want to say it was like the late 80s and early 90s, there was a specialized arcade that came out that was a battle mech simulator from the game BattleTech. And you would go to these arcades and they would have, like 50 of these pods set up, and literally you would pay and you would get into one of these pods, and the pod's sealed, and the interior of this thing looked like you were sitting in the cockpit of a battle mech. And I imagine that that's probably what these simulator pods are kind of like. They've got a row of them. And until recently, they didn't really have a whole lot of use for them. But now that they've got a whole whopping 3 ships, now look out. Now we need to train some pilots. So
we can put the word out that we're about to donate a Harrier. It's being refitted. We could give that information out to King Oleb, and tell him that we need they need to train 3 Harrier crews worth of Navy, so that way we can man our 2 boats, and then the one that we give them, they'll need a crew for.
Right.
I mean, that's 3 crews that they need to get prepared to take these ships as we go do our stuff.
Right. And yeah, they would be totally down for doing exactly that. You hear a couple of so while you guys you figure out the situation with the Harrier, you leave Salif, go straight to Thief, and straight to Thief. You meander your way to Thief. And you set up so that one of the Harriers, they've got both hulls, but one of the Harriers is in the process of being rebuilt. I was going to say refurbished, but it's really not. It would be like buying a 32 Deuce and deciding that you're going to build a hot rod. All you have is the frame of the car, and maybe this shell. Other than that, there's nothing else in it. And so that's what they're doing. And so
I understand it'll take months.
Oh, it's going to take quite some time. But you guys go back to do it. I mean, you might as well. You go back to doing what you're doing. You get back to Drinax. You have parked with the Floating Palace, and the palace is abuzz with a number of pieces of information, little quirky news stories. The first one that you will probably be very interested in, Tang, because I fucking know you. Where is it? Let's see. It is, and actually, both of you have already heard about this. Where is it? There it is. So around when you dock, of course, you dock at the Royal Dockyards, and the reason why you dock at the Royal Dockyards, I mean, it's not because you guys are absolutely spectacular. It is because
That's the only one that worked.
it's the only one that works, right? The other one, a couple hundred years ago, when the Aslan told the then king of Drinax to basically go screw himself, that this port down here was actually hit in that the Aslan picked up rocks and threw them at the planet, and it took a chunk. But part of that whole thing was basically, so the king of Drinax, not Oleb, his father, probably his father, told everybody who was going through the Drinax system, if not the Drinax system, then probably the entire Drinax chain, that essentially they had to pay a tithe, they had to pay a tax to the kingdom of Drinax, and it was not a small tax. It was a chunk of money. And he tried to tax Aslan ships that had come through from the Herate. And the Aslan said, you know what? We've had enough of your shit. And they threw a bunch of rocks at Drinax. And they told the king at the time, they said, if you think that you are so fantastic, that you are going to rule a world in a floating palace, then we will give you nothing but a charred husk to rule over, and we will leave your floating palace untouched. They accidentally touched it, but for the most part, they were successful. I mean, Drinax for the past couple hundred years has been nothing but a burned-out husk, and so that leads us to where we are today. So during this period of time, and I need to. Sorry, I need to make something real quick. So the palace is especially around the bazaar, because this is where, any trade ships that do arrive at Drinax, this is where they show up. Not that there's a whole lot, but there are some. And they are abuzz about this new, well, I guess it's an ebook for lack of a better term, that has come out called Delta Commerce. And this is the advertisement. Whoops, that's not quite what I wanted. This is the advertisement that you guys all see. And it is on kiosks all over the place. They are quite, people around here are quite excited about it. Now, I will allow you guys, being quite savvy as you are, to make a, I guess this would be an admin, either admin or advocate, plus intellect or education, your choice.
Do I get to purchase my wafers?
Yes, you can go ahead and purchase your wafers.
Okay, so I can do admin or advocate, you said?
Yes, plus your intellect or education.
All right. Well, hell yeah, I'll make a roll. Won't do it at +7, though.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Holy shit. So you both drilled that. So essentially, you guys look at this thing, and all of these traders around the bazaar are all abuzz about this, and you see that this ad is pretty much on every screen and every kiosk. There are ads popping up, every 15, 20 minutes. And so essentially, you guys determined that this is a pyramid scheme. So the way that this works is that for the low cost of So you have to buy it in levels. So for the low cost of 1,000 credits, you can buy into level 1. And level 1 is a useful primer on how to do, or how to turn your 1,000 credits. It uses the common 1,000 credit thing. So you pay 1,000 credits to buy the book. Then you follow the level 1 rules, and it says if you invest 1,000 credits into shipping or into trade, and it's all speculative trade, that you will make that back. And then as soon as you make that back, then you would be ready for level 2. Well, level 2 is going to cost you 2,000 credits. And it will have you invest 2,000 credits. And when you make that back, minus 10% to the author of the book, then you can buy level 3. And level 3 is 3,000 credits. At level 4, it increases to 10,000 credits, and level 5 is awarded at 100,000 credits, and it keeps going on and on and on. And at every point past level 1, 10% of whatever profits you make goes back to the authors. It's a pyramid scheme. So, here's the thing, though. I mean, both of you have been doing. Well, not only have you some knowledge in, interstellar trade, but you've also been working as fucking pirates. You know how this stuff works. You know where to fence stuff, and you know how the trade mechanism works. And basically what level 1 is nothing more than a useful primer on how to avoid simple marketplace mistakes. If you avoid those mistakes, more than likely, when you're only dealing with 1,000 credits at a time, more than likely you'll be able to at least double your credits. Not every time, but sooner or later you're going to double your credits if you just avoid the mistakes. And it looks like each level has you taking bigger and bigger and bigger risks. And one of the things that you are noticing across the region is that, and when I say region, I mean up and down, not just the Drinax chain, but clear up from the Tobias subsector all the way to the Florian League. And there is some news reports that it's affecting the Aslan hair rate, is that the proliferation of the Delta Commerce trading information is tanking markets, because essentially what they're having everybody do at once is short sell. They're basically, it's pump and dump, and so the markets are in the dumper. So the longer you wait, the less money you're going to make until there's a rebound.
So,
I'd
I
rather,
mean,
buy,
if
I'd rather buy stocks while they're low.
Right.
you don't actually have to buy stuff to follow the money. You just have to follow the money.
That's true too. So this is this thing has come in. Actually, it's not localized to the Trojan Reach. This evidently has come in off the X-boats from, way out. It probably, at the very least, it came from Spinward Marches. But probably further in from there. There's some grifter somewhere, hundreds of thousands of light years away, who's sitting on a pile of cash. Meanwhile, the entire stock market and trading market all across the Imperium is taking a shit. So that's newsworthy.
Yeah.
Whether or not you want to get involved in that, that's entirely up to you. We can certainly role play that.
Well, I mean, before we talk about getting involved or not getting involved in it, I mean, I would really like to, especially before we leave the palace, I would like to have the princess's ear.
Okay. So you want to set up a meet with Princess Rao?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then we need to have a gala where I present. We as the crew present the Sindalian Deathbot tribute to King Olaf.
Ooh.
We've already discussed that. We'd already said we were
Okay.
going to do that.
So you're just giving him one?
That's correct. We're giving him one. It's
Is he gonna follow him around and kill
'Cause
him?
don't- you have one more that you can repair, right?
we have one more that we can fix, and
Right.
we were going to give it to somebody. I just forgot who the fuck we were going to do with it.
Right.
But then we were going to keep two for ourselves.
Right.
Was the end game. And so while we're here and we can do that, I trying to do the shit I know we were supposed to do when we're in the spot to do it. And we definitely want a big thing. Of course, Captain Beth is going to talk and stuff or whatever, but we need to, I need to arrange to have that done so we can do the presentation.
Okay.
We're expecting medals. I will.
Now
He's going to be pretty.
Now that I have a Sindalian uniform that fits my size, I want a medal.
Yeah, he's going to be.
Do we need to explain to the king what happened about this?
Well, we're going to get there too.
Treasure chest.
So Gregor, before going in for your surgery, you can go ahead and put in your order for your battle dress. So make sure you make a note of that, of which one you want to order.
I'm gonna do that elsewhere where I can get it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't want to wait around a month.
Well, the difference, though, is that wherever, something like battle dress, like even Thief, you don't know necessarily that it's going to be available. It probably there will be something available, but it may not be exactly what you want. If you tell Rashondo what you want, he has a track record for coming back with it. Yeah, you just have to be patient.
There's really only one that I can afford with Vac Suit 1.
Right.
There aren't that many that.
So yeah. So you set up an appointment with Princess Rao. Did you want to set that appointment up with Princess Rao and with King Olib?
I want to set the appointment up with Princess Rao, and then I'm sure King Olib has a handler information person or something, at which I will request permission, to have a gala in which we intend to present a Sindalian Deathbot to King Olib, in totally. It's been cracked. It's open. It's in flawless condition, and we want to give that to him. But we would really appreciate at least some medals for our uniform, as we are trying to commemorate our successes in the name of Drinax, and something like this is a priceless donation to the kingdom.
Okay, so, yes.
So you convinced me I need to put it in my order for a battle dress.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get it.
So, yeah, he will put in, you put in your order just before going under the knife, and Rashondo says, give me a while, I will be back, and I will... if I can find one, he always says, if I can find one, I'll bring it back with me, and you can purchase it.
Do you prepay?
You don't.
Yeah.
You wait until he comes. Well, you can prepay. He likes you to prepay, of course. But I will tell you that in the 3 years that we've been playing this campaign, Rashondo has a 100% guaranteed success rate. So nobody knows where he's getting this stuff. Nobody asks questions, which he prefers, because Rashondo is a bit of a smuggler, maybe a little bit of a pirate himself, but he clearly has he has access to places that most people don't have access to.
Not even the king.
Well, and that's why the king insists that Rashando is around in the court.
Yeah. He's the black market. It's the only truly free market, you know.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, almost everybody's gotten a good big product, you know, spend your money, get something really good. Hope we come back soon. And that's
yeah,
all
like I mean, he's shown up with plasma guns, he's shown up with battle dress. I mean, Ching Shi's battle dress, he showed up with Sindalian era recon battle dress. So I mean, yeah, he's able to get the good shit.
You know,
well, I think a regular battle dress improvement will certainly be better than my combat armor.
Oh, well, yeah. Yes. Yes, it will.
I don't want to hit it by not hit by 250 rads again.
Yeah, it's not impervious, but it's better.
Would he be interested in maybe an information type trade?
What kind of information are you wanting to trade?
Well, we do know where an abandoned Sindalian base is that still has a lot of shit in it that can be looted. You know, and it's just relatively just sitting there, you know, with some proper instructions.
Are you talking about the space station that supposedly blew up, or are you talking about the base on Noricum?
The base on Noricum.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, he would be.
He could go, yeah.
He would be vastly interested in that.
If he could go loot that, you know, that. Or have somebody loot it. There's a lot of very valuable, you know, items there that are high tech level, and
yeah.
But I mean, you know, I don't know whether I want to, you know, sell him the information, or do I want to just, you know, try to get a cut on anything that he brings in.
It could be his deal, so, I mean, of course, when you bring up this information, you know, it's almost like a cartoon. You see his eyes roll over with dollar signs. And so the deal that he has with King Oleb is that something of this nature, he's assuming from the information that you gave him, it's going to be full of Sindalian artifacts. So,
I've been there and I've seen it.
So
the artifacts are there.
So all of that would come back to the kingdom of Drinax. However, because you have put him in on it, any profit that would be made, and the profit would be made from any that came back to the kingdom of Drinax that Oleb then decided to turn around and sell, you would be in on a 10% finder's fee.
All right. So every time I come,
Ting is in the make.
Well, I'm going to assign that to the crew, but I mean that money's going to the crew fund.
Okay.
To, you know what I mean? I'll hand that over to the captain, but I will make a note on my sheet that every time we go to Drinax, I ask about my fucking loot fund.
Okay. Yes, make a note of that. So Gregor goes off to the Scholars Tower, and they basically give you an estimate. It's going to be about 4 weeks. You're going to be in recovery, but aside from that, the surgery goes well. Now, even as Gregor is moving, it goes to the Scholars Tower, and as he's getting to the Scholars, the entire floating palace is abuzz. And this is especially strong when Ting is trying to set up this meeting with Princess Rao and set up, you know, this gala event to present King Olaf with his bot gift. That the palace is the palace. I've looked at this so many times over 3 years, you'd think I'd know where everything was at, but here we are. So the palace, here, number 8. The palace is especially abuzz. Like, a whole bunch of shit seems to be going on Nobody seems to be able to focus. They are so excited. Now, the first thing that you notice is that there's a whole bunch of artifacts that are being taken out of the palace, and they are being carted to the royal throne chamber here at the middle at 15. So you notice that. You notice that there are a lot of scholars from the Scholar Tower that are going over these items, even en route. They are kind of looking them over and evaluating them, or giving a estimation of value before they really dig into what they're worth over in the palace. The second thing that everybody's abuzz about is that the palace, well, excuse me, not the palace. King Oleb, Princess Rao, and Prince Herrick, along with an invited entourage, have been invited to Tobiah, which this is a big deal because this is a big deal for the palace, or the floating palace, because this is the first sign that Imperials, the imperial government, the Third Imperium, the imperial nobility, is recognizing Drinax as a power, as somebody that's important. And
Even
so,
in only a regional matter.
well, or as most Imperials would put it, a petty kingdom to be ignored or used as needed.
Right.
And so this is a big deal. And you have been invited to the Duke's Palace on Tobiah for a very special event. Tisney Zazzle is going to throw a concert. There's going to be a week-long event of holograms and light shows. And this is supposed to be a gala event promoting the launch, or the official launch of the most grandiose mission that the Third Imperium has ever undertaken. They are sending an exploration ship to the edge of the Great Rift.
What a fucking waste of time. There's no reason for them to do that. What kind of idiots would take that mission? I mean, really. You know?
Do they have ships following them that we can route?
Fuck. You know? It's not like they carry treasure.
Is there a supply chain we can rape?
Yes. Are there any freighters flying alongside them? So when you set this up, when you first you try to set up a meet with Princess Rao, and then you tell them that you're trying. So are you trying to set up this gala event to present this robot to the king? Are you trying to make it like a surprise present, which is why you want to talk to Princess Rao first, or what's your thought process? Why do you want to talk to Princess Rao?
Princess Rao's really the one in charge.
I mean,
she's the one that turned me on to a couple of jobs to go hit shit.
Yeah.
And so I would like to talk to her because she knows what we're about. And if she had insight on which way that she thought we would go that would better what her plan is, and I also want to talk to her about possibly going and removing the pirate threat that's centered in Tyr, which is something that we could use as a bargaining chip with the Imperials.
Okay.
Because that would show that Drinax has the ability to end the pirate problem there.
So the representative kind of puts it down on a pad, Sorry,
mean,
my allergies are killing me.
I mean, I've got a high enough social rating that I should be able just to go, hey, I want to talk to the princess. Will you please send me? I think this is Ting Hansen.
Yeah, you can. The fact that you're able to make an appointment to see the princess is about as close as you're going to get. I mean, the only person that can go and see the princess whenever they want is Ching Shi, and that's because they're bumping uglies. So.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not bumping anybody.
Yeah, evidently Princess Ra doesn't swing that way. So
that's fine.
The representative writes down that you want to have a meet and greet, and he puts down that you want to set up this gala event for the king, and he says, he looks at you, he goes, "Oh, the king wants to see you right away. You need to go to the palace. I can't believe that it's been so hectic and things are so crazy right now. I can't believe that nobody remembered. But as soon as you were to dock, we were told that you were supposed to make it to the throne room so that you could have a meeting with King Oleb."
Well, then I guess we should go. You don't mind.
I'm being operated on.
Right, you're being operated on.
I will wear my best set of Drinax military thing with all my shiny medals. Just the ones that I've created for our events.
The ones that you've made on your own.
Yes. Not official ones, but they're official on my, official in my head. That's all that really matters.
So you have one for a pint in 3 minutes?
No, but I have one for fucking raping
token a cigar in 5.
No, I got one for doing a prison break and
it's funny that you have done that. And the reason I say it's funny that you've done that is that literally up until as early as the American Revolutionary War. Actually, maybe past that. It might have been clear up until like the War of 1812. It was not uncommon for military leaders to essentially build their own armies. They weren't these recruits were not always conscripts. It's really weird, but for the most part, they were mercenaries. They were created by whatever admiral or general or what have you. It depends on the nature of the military. That these guys were, of course, these admirals and generals. They became admirals and generals because they had a shitload of money.
They were still doing that in the Civil War.
Were they still doing that in the Civil War? Yeah. Well, like I said, it went on for a long time. And so, well, yeah, you're right. It did. And actually, it went on after the Civil War.
I mean, you have the New York Brigade this and the New York Brigade that,
right?
Pennsylvania this, and
well, even parts of
based.
Custer's own army when he went to go fight the Indians, parts of that were self-funded. So a lot of these guys, they got to being admiral and general not because they were really great military leaders. It's because they had money. That's the only reason. And so a lot of times these guys would create their own armies and then go to the crown and be like, "What do you want us to do?" And they would find a use for them because why wouldn't they?
I think I've got 3 medals that I've bought for everybody in the crew, and I've spent really good credits on them. So we all have. You guys might keep them in a plaque case in your room or whatever, but I sport them. I sport that shit like it's official shit.
You throw on your Sindalian dress uniform, you throw on your custom medals, and you're looking spit shined and polished. Yeah. And when you go into the palace, into the throne room here, as usual. The throne room is filled with hangers-on, and there are scholars all over the place. The difference is that the throne room, of course, at the end of the hall is the Iridium throne, or not the Iridium throne. That's the Imperium. the Drinaxian throne. Drinaxian throne is actually made. It looks exceptionally uncomfortable. In fact, King Oleb only sits on the Drinaxian throne during really super official functions. He actually prefers to sit on his hover throne because the damn thing is so uncomfortable. It is built from welded together pieces of ship hull that the Kingdom of Drinax has defeated in battle. And so it's hard and quite pointy in places. And
man, I wish I had a piece of that fucking Corvette that we fucking knew.
So, in
It's
addition,
gonna be nuclear for a few more.
it's gonna yes, yeah. So
It's a paint job.
A few more half-lives. You need a few more half-lives.
in addition to this hideous throne that he doesn't like, you see that they have set up a bunch. Essentially, it's a bunch of folding tables, and on these folding tables, all of these tables, taking up most of the throne room, are filled with pieces of artwork and priceless ancient Sindalian artifacts. And these scholars are going over them and basically evaluating how much they're worth. And they will tell Oleb things like, well, this one's worth this much. And he's got a bottle of wine in each hand, and he yells out, I'm not drunk enough for it to cost that much. Come back to me after I've had more to drink. And he takes a drink, and Ting, you walk in, and he goes, there's the man I've been looking for. Tell me some good news. I heard that you found something about the treasure of Sindal.
I'll give him a full report,
And
including video cuts of exciting battles and whatever. I will, it'll be like it's seen through my eyes. But just something nice and kind of cool and flashy that doesn't maybe have a lot of substance. But I will go ahead and tell him that the treasure of Sindal was kind of a plague missiles.
so yeah, he's very disappointed in that. But and he holds up the two wine bottles, and one's about a half full and the other one's completely full. He hands you the half full one, pops the cork on the full one, takes a big drink. And
I'll take a big drink with him.
And he clinks the bottle, and he goes, well, we do have some good news. He says, first of all, and one of the scholars comes over and interrupts him and says, I'm sorry, Malish, but we found this. And he holds out this rod that is about 40 centimeters in length. So it's not very long. It looks like it's, and I put this in air quotes, probably mostly made of gold. Probably. And you see that there are a number of small gems, like earring stud size gems.
It's 3.5 feet long.
Right. Right. So it's not, they're not going to be playing baseball with it. But in it, there are studs of these small gems, and it looks like there is a small computer screen on it. And the scholar comes up and tells him that it's not worth very much. And he doesn't know. And honestly, the scholar says, I honestly don't know anybody that's going to want to buy this thing. And Oleb is all pissed off. And he's like, well, then take it to the tower and figure out, how much it's really worth, and come back to me when you have a better number. And the scholar scuttles off and leaves, and he heads off to the scholar's tower with this rod. But King Oleb says, we are in the process of liquidating some of our precious heirlooms and history and artwork. And he just seems completely disgusted by this idea. In order to further our cause, sometimes sacrifices have to be made. But you and your crew have done great amounts to further us along the path to legitimacy. We, and by that I mean you're going, have been invited to the gala event on Tobiah.
That sounds wonderful.
He says, of course, I'm going as a figure of state, but it will be your job while you're there to interact with some of the nobility. He's like, you are a Star Dragon Knight of Yggdrasil.
That is correct.
You will fit right in, and it is your jobs to hobnob with high society. Make contacts. Make sure that they know how great Drinax is, and what a fantastic idea a new kingdom of Drinax would be to solidify the entire region under one banner.
Thankfully, Randolph is, who am I tonight? Gregor?
Yeah, today's your Gregor.
I'm Gregor. Gregor with a social of 3. And is a thief, is going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be talking to the people that are the servants to these lords and ladies.
Oh, of course. Oh, that's completely part of it. Yes.
Gotta ask, Your Highness. How do you plan on going there? If you really wanted to go in style, you'd travel upon you'd let us take you on the Osiris.
Oh no. You are all going to be my guest. We're going aboard the Rasputin.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun. And this will be the time that I tell him that we have the 2 Harriers being ready fitted, and how we plan on taking the Anubis, and one of the Harriers with us is 3-ship strike force. But coming soon, we're going to return a Harrier to you that is fully functional and repaired and restored.
He is over the moon by that news. Are you going to tell him about the Deathbot?
That is for the gala that we're supposed to be having soon. But if we're being whisked away, then maybe I need to do that now and just take shit and get it done.
So yeah, literally, he's telling you to pack whatever you're taking with you. Take your best clothes.
Right.
But bring something comfortable as well, because you never know how quick these things can change. I've been to some of these noble events where one day I was drinking wine and tea at some princess's palace, and the next day I was out on a schooner whaling. So bring something, for the elements and comfort as well.
I will rename the bot Bassett or Bast.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the cat of Ra, is what it's sometimes known as. It's basically the guardian protector, Ra's protector.
Yep. Also widely known for not giving 2 shits about humanity.
Well, see, that fits, because that's what I named this bot. I'll present it to him to protect him, to watch his ass, and to be fully programmable, customizable, whatever. I've taken the liberty of reset it to factory specs. Whenever you activate it, it will be loyal and answerable to you or anyone you deem such worthiness. He
is over the moon. So yes, he does agree to give you everybody is going to receive the Star Dragon Medal of Drinax.
Hell yeah.
And he sets the Scholars Tower about to making these star medals, and it's gonna have a nice little blue and yellow campaign, triangular campaign ribbon with a gold medal that looks like the Drinaxian insignia hanging below it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, he even...
Star Medal of Drinax?
Yes. Star Dragon Medal of Drinax. And
that makes me a Star Dragon Knight of Yggdrasil and Drinax.
Well, you haven't received a knighthood yet, but if things go right, that could be incoming. But I mean, even Admiral Rax doesn't have this medal. So Oleb is. I mean, you guys have really done well for him. I mean, you've brought in money, you've brought in contacts, you've brought in the possibility of new planets joining Drinax. You brought him ships. I mean, what's not to like about you guys?
Need to tell him about the trade going on there. What was it? Where would she the queen at? Ace?
Oh, the warden of I believe it was the warden of number 1.
Well, no, I mean we have an agreement with Ace because Captain Beth is
yes,
queen, and that
yes,
is
she is.
Yes,
she is the regent of Ace.
Yeah. So I mean, if there's trade or something that could be had through that, people should be headed that way and making that happen, especially considering that we get, you get I think it was like a 10% thing of all the things that go through their port.
Right. So he is mildly interested. I mean, the reality is aside from Argon, there's not a lot to trade with Ace. But I mean, he says, the fact of the matter is, if we're going to get more ships, we need more lasers, and that's going to require more Argon. So, that's not the worst deal he's ever heard. I mean, it's not spectacular. It's not as exciting as being invited to a noble function at Tobiah by the Duke of Tobiah, but it's it's.
I can't be expected to outdo you, Your Highness. You're amazing in how you portray.
Oh,
yeah.
Do go on.
Yeah,
and
you drank people under the table from multiple, systems.
So
well,
yeah, I mean, multiple genetic codes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he also invented hurricane boxing. But I mean, aside from that, essentially, so Glenn or Gregor rather, you are moved from your recovery room in the Scholars Tower. You are moved to the sickbay aboard the Rasputin, and I do still have it. Which I am not as up to date. There it is. Main medical bay is 11. So you are moved over here to deck 2 in the main medical bay for your recovery, and basically, let's see. Here's another 11. So, Ting, you're given an officer's quarters over here on deck 1. Or actually, I guess this is... Oh, main medical's on deck 2. This is deck 1. This is deck 2. You are given an officer's quarters, and the ship sets sail.
What kind of ship is this?
This is the Rasputin Destroyer Escort.
Oh.
And I don't...
We donated this to the...
Well, you didn't really donate. So they found this in a on a missing planet, in a destroyed planet that isn't on star charts, and they were ferrying around a imperial dame named Coraline Petrovsky, who was looking for her family's ancestral home planet, and that was what this mystery planet was. And they discovered it. It was sitting there, fully loaded and powered up and ready to go, in what was left of the ducal palace on this planet. And nobody knows exactly what happened to the rest of the Petrovskys. The AI on Shenanigans is still going over the star map information, and we'll have information very soon on what the next part of that journey is. They did find that there were jump coordinates to someplace, and of course they were in the old style, and the data was partially corrupted, and so shenanigans is spending vast amounts of computational power sitting there in port just going over these charts. But I digress. So the Rasputin, and we haven't given it a better name. It's just the Rasputin. And so it takes off and heads towards Tobiah. Now, the Rasputin, I want to say, has. I'm surprised I didn't. It's
like 5 or 6. It's fucking badass.
I thought it was like jump 4. Oh, I did. Here we go. These are the stats for the Rasputin Destroyer Escort. Yeah, it's jump 4, thrust 6.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's badass.
Yeah, it's a big gunship. Oh, it does have a torpedo barbette on it.
Yeah.
Well, there's those other 9 missiles, or other 9 torpedoes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to let Captain Beth deal with that. I mean, while we're doing all this, I'm thinking she'll be back.
Right.
Yeah, I've done a whole bunch of decision making while she was away, so she'll enjoy that.
So,
sure she will.
Yeah, you know.
So it's jump 4.
It is jump 4, and so
this must be Imperial.
No, it is Sandalian.
Oh, you're kidding!
And it is
so
actually it's actually a one-off custom design.
We stumbled across it and it was beautiful. We just don't have the manpower or the true ownership of it. I mean, there was a big discussion about who really owned it. You know who I thought owned it, but it didn't work out that.
Well, owned it.
I'm a crew person. I just try to acquire shit for the crew, and I get as big as I can. Yeah.
So about 7. Yeah, it's going to take you about 7 weeks, and you can get to Tobiah. And it's not on this one.
I'm well.
Yeah, you should be back up, and you're off your walker, moving around. And so, this is the Tobiah system.
Can while we're doing all this traveling and everything, can I try to be Olim's steward to gain favor with him? Serve him drinks, make him have a wonderful party experience.
Sure.
While he's going.
Sure.
I've got some. Give me a sec. Give me 2 minutes. I gotta go get some ice cream out of the front door and put it in the freezer.
Okay. And while you're doing that, while you're stepping away, I'm going to step away for 1 second as well.
I'm just going to sit here and smoke with my cats. So people out there just watching, how y'all doing? Hope everything's okay. Don't tell them to say anything.
It's not here yet.
What do you mean?
I had ordered some groceries to have it delivered.
Okay.
And there's some ice cream in it, but they haven't brought it yet.
Right. I was talking to the audience people that may or may not be watching this, saying hi. So at least they're not sitting there watching me not do anything, say anything. That's boring.
I'm going down to the gym and practicing using my garrote.
Oh, I hear you. I'm trying to gain social favor with the king of Drinax because that's just how Ting is. And consider I don't have any duties on the ship, then I might as well spend the whole time just, getting the king drunk and telling stupid tall tales.
And since I social 3, I'm down there with the stewards and the engineers playing with the still.
So yeah, I got an 11 is what happened, Chris.
Okay. So you were able to do a fairly good job of basically plying Oleb with copious amounts of liquor and at least half as much of that as food.
Oh hell yeah!
Now the thing about the Rasputin, you guys are used to your Sindalian ship, so you've got the Osiris, you've got the Anubis, all of those are not 100%. They look run down. The Anubis probably looks the best. The Osiris isn't so bad, but they still need some work. On the other hand, the Rasputin looks like it was just taken out of the bubble wrap. I mean, the whole inside of the thing smells like a new car stereo. It effectively appears and acts brand new. You're wondering, I mean, this might, aside from the fact that they flew it here from another world, this might have been the second time that it's actually been taken out. So the whole thing looks spotless. It's obvious why he would want to show up in this. And so you have a pretty fantastic journey. I mean, it's high comfort. And as soon as Gregor is out of medbay, he is assigned his own officer's quarters. And I mean, the officer's quarters, it looks like a hotel suite for the officer's quarters. It's absolutely fantastic. No bunking it for you. And so, yeah, you are able to ply Oleb. He's happy and drunk most of the 7 weeks, but I mean, he's usually drunk anyways. And you guys arrive at Tobiah. And so this is Tobiah's system. Tobiah is 1.72 AU from the primary. So the primary is an F7 5-star, and so it is a yellow-white dwarf, about maybe a little bit bigger than our own sun, but it burns a lot hotter. Now, the thing about Tobiah, and this planetary map really doesn't do it justice, but the thing about Tobiah is that it has, or is described as having, let me read it exactly. It says, Tobiah subsector, Tobiah. So Tobiah is a pretty big deal. Just the name of the planet should stir the soul of any patriotic citizen of the Third Imperium. It is a world-girdling city. Capital ships actually dock with some of the tallest skyscrapers. Now this place is immense. I mean, the city is immense. Think more like Coruscant from Star Wars. And there are capital ships that you don't have to take a shuttle down. The Rasputin actually is able to dock with the top level of one of these skyscrapers. And you are ferried down, and you are given royal suites in the Duke of Tobiah's palace. And, the entire atmosphere is one of festivity and you can see where the big stage is set up that Tasni Zizzle is going to give her premier performance, her comeback tour, as it were. She's the ruler of Salif. The whole place is there's a week-long series of events and fairs and parties, and you guys spend most of your time hobnobbing, going from one gala event to the next, not getting home until 3 or 4 in the morning, and then waking up again at 9 or 10 and starting all over. And you guys are pretty worn out. So by the end of this week, you do notice the ship that comes into dock, and the ship that comes into dock finally is a what is the name of it? It is
Deep Revelations.
Yeah, well, I know the name. Yes, the name of the ship is DSS Deep Night, or RSS Deep Night Revelation. But the class of ship it belongs to the where's my box set? It was part of the Element class cruiser family. Specifically, it is a refurbished Amara class. And so this thing is about, it's rated at 75,000 tons. This is for an exploration ship, this is a big deal. I mean, this is a refurbished battle cruiser that's been turned into basically the Enterprise. Which really causes you guys to beg the question of, obviously, well, the fuck are you exploring that you that you need an Amara class battlecruiser? Like, what's going on out there? There's some obvious questions. So that the final night leads you to a large gala event in the private, what they call the sitting room of the Duke of Tobias Palace. And the sitting room is about the size of an auditorium. Lots of red carpet. There's multiple bars. And there are tons of people all over the place that are all, of course, most of them are nobility or reporters. And the reporters are just swarming anybody who's on the crew of Deep Night Revelation. They want to know. And they're not just reporters. There are advertising agents that are following them around. Like, oh, well, we're selling dandruff shampoo, and if you say that that you use this, that'll boost our sales, and we'll give you, a 20-year supply of dandruff shampoo for your trip, and et cetera, et cetera. You hear all sorts of things. That this is going to be a 20-year round trip, and these people are heroes because they've agreed to go out or volunteered to go on this mission, and it's going to gain all sorts of exploratory data. And while this is all going on, the two of you can go ahead and roll. You can either roll carouse plus Soch, or you can roll. It kind of seems like it should just be carouse, huh? I think it's carouse plus Soch. So Ting drilled it. Okay, so Gregor, you are kind of going around and meeting up with, rather than talking directly to the nobility or the reporters, you're talking to the wait staff.
Yes, I am.
And the wait staff, they let you in on a couple of interesting little tidbits of information. The first is that the first piece of information that they tell you in your you kind of meet with them back in the kitchen, kind of away from prying eyes. They all are kind of a buzz that right now the Imperium is is sitting on the edge of their seat. And the reason is that there are reports that these guys have overheard that there are Jodani fleet ships that are moving into the demilitarized zone between the Jodani consulate and the Third Imperium. And that's, of course, a big no-no. And so far, the Jodani consulate has not said one word about it, but their ships continue to move. So that's the big piece of information that Gregor picks up. And so,
does he get any clues on somebody he should liberate items from?
No. Well, no.
You know, I gotta crawl into the palace.
Yeah. No, but these waitstaff kind of let you in on the nobody seems to be talking about it directly, but we've overheard the conversations. We've overheard the communiques that have come in. We know that this is on the military's mind right now. And so, Ting, you're kind of bouncing around, and you're kind of bouncing from one conversation to the next. You've met numerous nobility, trying to kind of get closer to these crew of Deep Night Revelation, and you bump into somebody, and you turn around, and the somebody that you bump into is actually the Duke of Tobiah, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get in your way. Hey, you are from the Kingdom of Drinax, are you not?"
I am.
He says, "Well, that would be
Star Dragon Knight of Jagersteel."
He says that would be most perfect that I ran into you then. And he hits he hits the thing on his wrist for his wrist-mounted mobile comm, and a kind of PA activates throughout the quote-unquote sitting room, and he requests King Oleb and his entourage, as well as the command staff of Deep Night Revelation, and he lists off the names of a number of other nobles and a couple of reporters, including Yana Teak, and he invites them back to his private study. And this is a huge honor. And he shuts it off and he says, "And of course, you're a part of King Oleb's delegation, so please come with us."
I will surely go. Yeah.
And of course, Gregor, you overhear this over the intercom, so you kind of catch up with them.
Yeah, I would make sure I informed him.
And
I'm going to tag along at the back of the group. Because with Soch 3, I'm not so sure I should be here.
Well, I'm feeling out of my element.
Are you sharing the information that you got from the staff?
Yes, I did.
All right.
There's a fleet. There's a possible fleet. There's a rumored fleet movement into the DMZ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the DMZ for you guys, I mean,
it's a
long ways away.
It's a long ways away, and I don't know if the king's gonna care.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long ways. I'm not sure graphically, it's not as far away as you might like, but I mean, are you going to tell Oleb about it?
I'll have Ting decide that, since I'm only Soch 3.
I'll surely tell Oleb about it.
So Oleb's response is that, that's Imperial problems. That's a long ways away. That's not going to affect us.
Wonderful.
And he says, thank you for bringing it to my attention, but don't you worry your heads about it. You just keep doing what you're doing, and don't let anybody know what you're doing.
I'll give credit to Gregory about finding the information, and I'll be like, well, it's a major concern, just know that if at any time you know, Captain Death, just speaking for her, we could head a mission and investigate anywhere you want and go into undetected if you wanted to use that information to gain favor with the Imperials.
Oh no, our importance is internally. We need to strengthen our position here. And you guys kind of spread out, and so Gregor, you're kind of standing there like, huh, okay. And you're kind of like, this feels like it's probably more important than they're leading on, but okay. And somebody taps.
See, I'm an army guy, so yeah. Though I do have somehow I ended up with ship
right.
tactics.
You feel somebody tap you on the shoulder, and this individual.
I'm wearing my dress uniform.
This individual.
It's Peter.
Is tapping you on the shoulder. Now, and he introduces himself, and he says, "Oh, excuse me, my name is Sir Willard Vorstatten. I understand that you are with the delegation from the Kingdom of Drinax."
This is correct, sir.
And he says, I and he kind of looks around, and then he kind of whispers to you, and he goes, "I think I know who you are."
And you do, and you think you do.
And
would you like to go somewhere and talk about it?
He is wearing a dress sword, and he keeps fiddling with his belt, and he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, I apologize. I absolutely abhor this thing." He says, "But no, he goes, your secret is safe with me. In fact, I don't know if you know who I am, but you saved my life."
We did?
That's what he's telling you. And he's kind of caught Gregor, aside. And you, Gregor, out of your corner of your eye, you can see that Tang is eating some hors d'oeuvres and drinking really expensive champagne and talking with, he's talking with Yana Teak, who wants to know everything he's been up to. And of course, Yana Teak tells Ting that it sounds like things are going great with Drinax. Everything that you've done for the refugees out of Halai Cluster is going great. I mean, you guys are heroes to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, we're not responsible for that.
Well, Yana doesn't know who you are.
I don't mean we're not responsible for the rescue or anything. We're not responsible for people making us heroes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's just, we just do the right thing, and we just,
and whatever happens.
Yeah, what we've found is that we don't really fight back. We fight forward.
So you see that.
So do I ask him if he wants to go over to the corner and discuss this?
Well, Ting, you see that this nobleman has kind of is talking to Gregor, and then this nobleman sees Ting and he waves Ting over.
I will go over.
So here's the thing. I don't think either one of you were present or part of the crew when this happened, but there is, and I think I'm in the right place. Let me double check. Come on, don't do that.
Typical sword with a 80 centimeter blade. Oh my God, the thing's 7 feet long.
Yeah, well, and now you know why he doesn't like it. So, let me double check.
I could beat him, I think.
Yeah, face is sharper than the razor, but the weapon is not well suited for slashing action. It's It's a picker. It's a poker.
So what the at some point in the very near past, there around the world Vume, while operating the Harrier, there is a ancient archaeological space station around the world of Vume, and I mean it's assumed that it's ancient. Nobody, I mean, who knows? But the population of Vume has actually gotten it to a point where they can actually live on it, and part of this is that there was a virus that was released on the world, and or actually rather parts of this ancient space station, and what the virus did is that it changed the biochemistry of the brain of some of the people, and so some of the people became basically these two different groups of people that caught the virus. Their brains rewired themselves, and they speak two different languages now, and they can't understand each other. And so parts of the station have been blocked off, and because they don't know what to do with these people, they just let them fend for themselves. And there was a safari ship that was on, safari. A nobleman was out looking for places to hunt, and it ran afoul. Something happened when it came out of jump, and it crashed into the station. And the crew, you guys, were like, well, you know what? That sucks for them. And we're not going on that damn space station. And so they instead made this overly complicated spacewalk where they attached a station shuttle, drilled a hole through the station, plugged in a soft connection to the airlock, and then said, "Okay, you're on your own," and left. Well, the noble that and his entourage that climbed out of there, those that survived, they were not infected, but they insist that whoever it was that was brave enough to pilot this shuttle over there and drill a hole in the hull, allowing them to get out, are grand heroes that saved their life. This is that noble.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And he thinks that you guys are the most fantastic thing that he has ever seen. And as you are talking, he says he's actually sent Captain Beth multiple messages.
Marriage proposals?
No, not marriage proposals, but both of you can make a Recon plus Soc check.
I get an 8.
Okay. That's actually really good. Okay, so you both made it. The feeling that you both get is that this guy's just lonely. He is looking for friends. And so Sir Willard Vorstatten, I mean, he's rambling on. And
what kind of skills does he claim to have?
Well, so he is an Imperial Knight, and really, and I can tell you. Let me get to that page.
His sword's worth quite a bit.
Yeah.
But a sir is the lowest level of imperial.
So he's fairly young. He's only 27 years old. he lets you in on the fact that he is a member of the Atsaw branch of the Vorstatten family, which is a large and well-respected clan that has a proud tradition of service to the Imperium. And so, like many of his cousins and more distant relatives, he had entered the Naval Academy. He went in at Depot in the Deneb sector and graduated the upper half of his class. And he spent the next 4 years aboard large warships as a junior officer in the gunnery branch. And he found battleship life to be fairly boring. And
Most people do.
right, yeah. Well, I mean, especially during peacetime. I mean, you're in the gunnery branch and there ain't nothing to shoot except the occasional asteroid for target practice.
So he just wants to go on an exciting adventure.
No, things from the boring standpoint go from bad to worse for Sub-Lieutenant Sir Willard Vorstatten. He mustered out of the military, and he was given an imperial land title on the planet Gore. And Gore, he's never been a landed noble. And it's expected, of course, that with the parcel of land, it's going to be his personal estate. He's expected to work towards improved stability for the entire planet, et cetera, et cetera. His predecessor was basically moved on to better things, which essentially means the Imperium said, you are doing a terrible job and we're firing you, and we're going to give the estate to somebody else. And Sir Vorstatten was the next somebody that ended up with this estate. So Sir Vorstatten is on a planet that is imperial in name only. It is mostly cattle ranches and things of that nature.
Is it a client? Is it a client state?
No, it is actually in the sector, Tobiah subsector. It is in the middle of the Imperium, but the people of Gore, quite literally, aside from knowing that there is an Imperial Knight that has an estate on the world, that's all the people of Gore really ever know about the Empire. They are not a major thoroughfare for Imperial warships. They are not of import to the Imperium, and so, Sir Willard sits at home, out of his element, not exactly knowing what to do, and he's lonely, and he's bored, and he wants friends. And so, in this conversation, he says that he's been trying to contact Captain Beth, and he didn't know. Of course, he didn't know Captain Beth by name. They were very adamant they didn't tell anybody their names. They didn't want to show anything off. But it was a little impossible to really hide the fact that there was a Harrier-class commerce raider sitting out there. And he was able to kind of read the news and put two and two together, and he believes that he had been rescued by the notorious pirates of Drinax. And he says,
well, yeah, that's just an interesting tale.
He says, no. He says, before you say anything more, I want to extend my humble invite. I would like for your entire crew to come to Gore on vacation at my imperial estate, at my noble estate on Gore, and just spend a week. Enjoy yourselves. I would adore getting to know you and learning of your exploits. And he says, and I think I might be able to help with that thing.
What thing?
Well, there's talk about, some kind of missile incident against a Imperial patrol cruiser. I think I might be able to help make that go away.
Really?
I can at least grease the wheels and get them moving in that direction. But come, stay a week or two at my estate, all on me. Enjoy yourselves. Get some vacation time while I put in the paperwork and make some requests.
Which ship should we take?
He says, you don't have to worry about that. He says, my private cruise liner is here. And it is his private subsidized liner, the Lucas Christie, is docked here, and he can have that ferry us to Gore as soon as the festivities here are over.
What do we have any characteristics on it? Is it a jump to?
It is a subsidized liner. It is the Lucas.
Yeah, it's more of a uppity toy ship.
It's a jump 3.
Yeah.
It's a jump 3.
It's a nice ship.
The interior
is bar, medical bay, theater.
Yeah,
pool,
it's got theaters, hot tubs, and the kitchen. Interior is decked out like it is a private yacht.
Yeah, I mean, man, we've got to clear our name with the Imperium if we want to be able to do anything that we want to do. I mean, I got to think that would be the direction she would take us if she was doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just asking you to spend some time on his estate,
yeah.
Basically giving you a vacation while he puts in a couple of requests. I mean, how bad could that be?
All right, provided that we can bring all our stuff.
Does he want to try some unarmed combat spars?
Well, here's the thing: you don't have all your stuff now. So when you say all your stuff, mostly you would. I mean, you're in dress uniforms, so I mean, sidearms and usually it would be ceremonial type blades, but sidearms definitely.
Okay, fair enough.
But I would say that in your luggage, if you had some knives or whatever, you could certainly bring that. And in your luggage, you could probably bring one long arm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to have a few grenades.
Yeah, grenades will fit in your luggage.
Yeah.
A few grenades. Throw grenades here, there, everywhere.
That's
just get Ting a big slingshot for grenades.
Right. What do you say? I can take 5 grenades total?
I would say more like 3.
3. Okay.
So I can bring my body pistol.
Oh, you can certainly bring your body pistol, which you may have on you right now. That's the whole purpose of a body pistol.
Which I do.
But you could also have, a Gauss pistol as your sidearm.
I have an assault pistol, an assault rifle, and I have AP ammunition.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll bring a plasma grenade, an electromagnetic pulse grenade, and a trank gas grenade.
There you go.
Can I bring my combat armor?
No, but you could bring anything. Well, let's see. What does it say that Gore is? Gore. I guess maybe. Tobias is one thing, but let's see. If you're traipsing around on Gore, Gore has a law level of 7, which means
I can certainly bring my cloth armor and ballistic vest.
Oh, definitely cloth armor, but law level of 7. Shit. So it looks like mesh would be banned, cloth would be banned, flak is banned, combat armor is banned, and battle dress is banned.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
Yeah, and this chart's really weird. I'm going to amend this and say that mesh is the best armor that you could wear. So you could wear cloth.
I could wear cloth?
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear a dip vest and go with it. I mean, I'm just going for relaxation. This was supposed to be a big thing, so whatever. Yeah, it's cool. But then again, I'm suited for unarmed combat like a motherfucker with my augmentations. So
that's true.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm I'm really that worried. I'm not near as naked as other people.
So, I mean, if you wanted to bring your combat armor, you could. You're going to look a little odd, but yeah. As far as firearms go,
probably wouldn't want to wear it on board ship.
I mean, basically, and he kind of gives you the rundown. Basically, in town and whatnot, everything's banned. But Gore, being a mostly ranching planet, and having an agrarian lifestyle, firearms are allowed for work purposes.
So I could bring my combat battle dress and just kind of keep it put away. And if I decide I need to put it on, I can put it on.
They're going to really not. They're going to really not like combat armor or battle dress. You're going to get stopped a lot.
Yeah, I'm not even
cloth and mesh are one thing, especially if the cloth armor is something that is hideable, like an overcoat or something like that.
Yeah,
but combat armor and battle dress, that means that you're walking into town looking like you're ready to take over something.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just take a dip vest.
Okay.
Yeah, and just go with that. That's nice and light. I'm really going social right now anyway. I'm trying not to come out looking, but some grenades in my bag, as we discussed.
Okay. And so you guys are taking him up on this and heading to Gore aboard the Lucas Christie. And you are given the nicest staterooms you've probably ever stayed in. I mean, these are. It seems like every stateroom is set up like a royal suite, like everything. If you want something, all you have to do is call, and stewards show up with a cart of the best food, champagne, whatever you want, the entire trip to Gore. And I don't know.
It has a wet bar.
Yeah.
It has a wet bar.
Man, if we killed everybody on this ship and just took it and sold it,
Where is Gore?
That would not get us. That would not get us nice with the Imperials.
So you're going from Tobiah to Gore at jump 3. 1, 2, 3.
This Imperial
so in
space.
2 jumps, you'll make it to Gore. So, you're going to be aboard this ship for at least 3 weeks, and
gonna live it up.
Yeah, you guys are living it up.
No, I'm not. I've decided that I need to go work out in the gym.
Okay, so yeah, there is a fully functional gym. So we will pick this up next week at 7:00 with you guys arriving on Gore. Hopefully Cameron's feeling better by then, and we'll have a full crew, and we will get to exactly what's going down on the Imperial estate of Sir Willard Vorstatten.
Well, we might have to take him and his ship. We can go take this ship right over to Thieves and sell it, and ransom him back. Go to Palindrome, ransom him back. Just purchase with we could rent passage back to Drinax where our ships are. With the money we make selling this custom cruiser.
Well, I will tell you that this is going to be an opportunity for you guys to. It's some real opportunity here for you to mend some fences and gain a very valuable friend.
Man, yeah, if I could be like not wanted, that'd be great, I guess, because I got a really great social score on this one.
Right.
I got a sucko social score. -1.
Oh well, I mean, you get get social points, by doing stuff. I mean,
Right.
right now I've got a social of 13.
Well, yeah. I mean, you
Yeah,
you could potentially not just XP wise, but you could come out of this whole thing with a boost to your social score.
and see that puts me in another category of social. When I hit 14, what I mean, then I'm better than a knight, right?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily, but yeah. I mean,
You
it
could be a
could be.
baron.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah.
A baron. You could be a baronet.
So yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's like a baron in trading, but it's not inheritable.
right.
Right.
So
Oh
yeah.
man.
I mean, there are going to be some good opportunities for you on this world, aside from money and XP. Sometimes this is the type of stuff that you can't buy.
Right.
So I brought my combat environment suit and my combat armor improved, as well as my mesh and cloth.
Okay.
So I have a wide range of options in apparel.
I will bring my assassin droid.
Okay.
I'm just saying it
It'll
is
fit in a duffel
good.
bag.
Well, yeah, it's small and it's not really that. I mean, it's not really set up so much
So is this his
to be a
planet?
weapon. It's more of a spy tool. But
This is the wonderful planet of Gore.
uh,
We'll get.
Is it tidally locked?
I believe it is, yes, and it's only 0.2 AU from the star. So, yeah, we'll get into the loveliness that is Gore next week
What
at
kind
7
of
o'clock.
star is this?
It is M5 M5V.
Holy moly. You get outside of the back zone and your spaceship's gonna melt.
Yeah, it's gonna be it is quite the warm world. But yeah, we'll get into Gore and its starport and everything that you're going to see on the world from there. And
I assume these cows they have are got big thick fur. Either that or they're got sun shields.
they've got the big silver things that you put in your car windshield wrapped around them the entire time. Yeah.
well, if he can get our name cleared, that's valuable, and we get our ship, with its two escort carriers. That Yeah, so the time this takes for all that our ships are being repaired, right, or rebuilt.
Yeah, they are in the process of being built as we
Yeah.
speak. Yes. So
Yeah, so hopefully by the
It's
time
only
we
going to
get back
take
to
about 2
Drinax,
years. It's only
well, no, it won't take that
it won't
bad.
take that long.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe they'll be ready by the time that we get back to Drinax, so we can.
maybe not.
Probably not that soon, but yeah, they are underway, or at least one of them is.
Yeah, well, just the first one is the important one. The second one is just tribute NPC crap.
That right.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna fly a small little stealth fleet to do really kick some major ass, I mean, bringing this back is epic. I mean, as soon as we bond them all together, we all ought to get like 3
Gee.
experience points.
We could go after an Imperial patrol corvette and nuke it.
Right? Yeah, you can go find another Imperial patrol corvette and nuke it too. We can't keep our names clear. What the hell?
Well, let's try a frigate next time.
I mean, but seriously, I think
we ought to go after a frigate.
I think we had a lot of interest in going and kicking the pirate tier power offset. So if we got the 3 ships that we could all take to tier, we could clean that out and take pirate ships and sell them for salvage and make a killing.
Yeah.
And it would be legit salvage for the Imperium people because they're pirate vessels, right?
Well, they're not necessarily pirate vessels. Tyr is its own government, but Tyr's government has just been a bunch of dicks, and they've been trying to take over most of the Dust Belt or the Drinax Belt chain. So,
How big a navy do they have?
well, not as big as they would have liked, because Asus hired Glorious Empire mercenaries to basically put a stop to their shit, in which they did. And so when that happened a couple hundred years ago, Tyr had to pull their navy. The bulk of their navy was at Depress, and they had to pull their navy back from Depress to deal with these Glorious Empire mercenaries that Asus had hired. And so, that was good for Depress. They were able to reclaim their planet, and but so for a long time, Depress had basically claimed themselves as the cultural high point of the Dust Belt. And when Tyr had invaded, Tyr actually held Depress for something like 768 years, and during that time, most of the artifacts from the Grand Palace on Depress were taken out and are actually sitting in the palace on Tyr to this day. And
let's go get some.
Tyr still they have caused problems for Asus. They've caused problems. I mean, all across. Let's see here. Let's see. So, Tick, Asus, Ace, Sagan, Janus, Depress, Connaught. I mean, Tyr is just a bunch of jerks.
And if we were able to take a whole bunch of their ships, say five or six ships, even if we get like a third of face value for each ship, I mean, that's easily in excess of 100 million credits. And that's crazy cash. I'm just saying, by taking away the pirate ships,
it's also essentially going to war with a pocket empire. I mean,
you got to go to war with somebody
sooner or later.
Yeah, and if they're blocking,
you can't make a new kingdom without breaking some empires.
Right. If
well, we might want to talk to the king about this before we do it.
No, he'll just like that we expanded his reign.
That's probably true. He drinks a lot.
Yeah, I'm in good with him. He's got to like me. I spent a whole lot of time giving him an interesting, probably had good jokes,
That's true. He does really like Ting. I mean, but his mood shifts a lot, so, I wouldn't look too far into that. But we'll pick this up next week with what's going on Gore at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night with the Pirates of Drinax.
Good night. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.